Welcome to another photography lockdown challenge. I hope you've been enjoying it all so far. If you're new here, then welcome and thank you for coming to join in. Each week we're putting up a little challenge and then we're doing a live judging the following week, sharing some pictures with you, hopefully sharing some inspiring stories and giving you a bit of feedback which can help you out. I'm sorry we can't do feedback on every single image. That would just be impossible. There are way too many, but I do like to do as many as I can. We're going to be making a slight change to the way the judges worked. Initially, I wanted plenty of celebrity judges so you can meet them, but it is very, very difficult to schedule these guys in many weeks in advance. J. Thomas Lopez, for example, head of the visual arts department of University of Miami, Google him, he's an amazing guy. He said he'd love to come and join in, but you imagine how busy he is right now, shifting everything online and trying to keep all those students busy. Will Lucas, awesome wildlife photographer. His wife is a nurse and she doesn't know her shifts till a few days before they happen, so he can't schedule in advance because he needs to be home to look after their small daughter, and it may not work for him to be doing a live broadcast. Anyway, I hope to bring these guys in as guests along the way, but from here on in, basically, I am your judge. And if you get to meet these guys, that will be brilliant. This week's challenge is Toy Story. What does Toy Story mean to you? What is that all about? Before we get stuck into that, let me just remind you that everything you need to know about Photography Lockdown, how to get notifications, what's going on, when the judgings are, what the challenges are, click the link popping out up above me right now, and that will give you everything you need to know. Leave me your email address. That's really cool. We can keep you updated. You must use the hashtag, which is on screen now, and when you upload your images, and you must upload them by midnight on Thursday night. Sorry guys, please don't upload them after midnight, UK time on Thursday night, because we're not going to get a chance to look at them. If anything in this tutorial video confuses you, please take a look at my online courses, specifically the Ultimate Beginners course, because this is a great time for you to practice things. I know everything's available for free online. I'm not disputing that for a moment, but how do you know which bit you need in which order to make it all join together seamlessly? When you buy an online course, what you're paying for is for me to be your guide, to feed it to you in a comprehensive way that will make sense and will work first time out the box. Anyway, without further ado, Toy Story. First of all, we got to go visit my toy cupboard. And welcome to Mike Browne's World of Toys. This one I've had from new, 118,000 miles I've done on this. My day-to-day transport. Had this one 17 years, 1950 BSA. Couple of Triumph Thunderbirds over there. Dirt bike that I fall off when I go out dirt biking, getting a little bit silly trying to get some air. Now I know not everybody who's got a scruffy old shed out the back rammed with motorbikes. But the subject you're photographing is less important than how you photograph it. What is it with you? It could be sports equipment, hiking gear, model making stuff, you know, arts and crafts, art, your camera gear, I don't know. What the important thing is how you photograph it. It's about practice. It's about viewing things in different ways and trying different things out. So I'll demonstrate some of that in here. It's tricky in here. We've got some very bright areas. We've got some very dark areas. It's quite dark back here. I love my old BSA, which has never been restored. Mechanically perfect. I've rebuilt all the mechanical stuff, but I love the fact it's scruffy and shows its age. Probably going to do some things with this one. I'm not sure about the shinies over there. Also, this video could go on a long time because remember, guys, you've got all day to practice and experiment. I'm not going to spend all day on one little video like this because you'll get bored. What are we going to do? What are we going to look at? Well, the obvious thing with a shed full of toys is probably, you know, what would it look like with a wide shot, with the whole place in shot? How would we expose for it as well? I've got my 10 to 24mm wide angle on. I'm going to see if I can, I don't know if you'll be able to see me. I'm just going to sneak to the edge of the shot. What could we do? Maybe looking across the top of this one at everything. I think it's going to be messy, but let's give it a lash, shall we? Because we don't know, and it actually looks better than I thought. There you go, you see, best laid plans. You don't know. Let's see. It's not a bad shot, but I don't think it's going to be the best we could do. It is a very, very scruffy shed. What is the light in here? There's more light than I expected. Let's see, I'm on a 10mm lens, so I need to have, I would say, at least a 1/15 of a second image stabilizing on so we don't get camera shake. I'm going to shoot through in between the handlebars of this. Now, what sort of ISO do I want to be able to get my camera steady? Forgive me, I was distracted by that bird chirping away. It's just out there. It's great, isn't it? I want a 1/15 of a second, f5.6 to get the correct exposure. And I want to make sure I expose for the shadows as well as the highlights wherever possible. I think I need about 800 to 1000 ISO. Don't be afraid to use higher ISOs, because if you're confronted with either the option of a lovely, smooth, fine-grained image which is all blurred and out of focus because you had camera shake, or a nice, sharp, beautifully lit image which has got a bit of grain in it, go for the slightly grainy option every day. Let's have a look. What do we got? Let's get my video camera going. It doesn't look too bad from this angle, does it? Actually, better than I thought. Quite like the little highlight down here. You are over there on the table. I think I'm just going to shoot from over here, come up a bit. But it is messy, isn't it? As you can see, it isn't great by any stretch of the imagination. Let me take it very quickly. And then I think we'll be better off concentrating on just one thing. Now, I'm coming in close to this bike because I want to give it a sense of depth. It's not a bad picture, actually. It's okay. It's not bad. Wide-angle lenses are great for intimacy. Can you see me? Yes, you can. Wide-angle lenses are great for intimacy. By being close to this bike, we're getting that sense of really being there, that intimacy, using this as foreground. You could do that with a landscape or something once we escape lockdown. I quite like the light in here, but it's very dark on my old BSA there, isn't it? This area is really dark. So could we play around? Could we add some light? Remember, photography is all about light, isn't it? How about, I don't know if this will work. Oh, look, it's down there by chance. A lead light. If I tuck that behind this bike, can I poke a little bit of light down there, which will just help the BSA? What will be the issue with this? Well, we got daylight, we got fluorescent tubes, and now we've got a kind of yellowy tungsten light going on over there. And I think, I don't know if it's going to lift the, it is a bit actually. We may have a little bit of a weird colour curve going on. So let's just try, I don't quite know what the last composition was, but let's just try that and compare. This is what photography's about. So here's the second shot, there's the first. Yeah, it's made a big difference, hasn't it? You see how it's lifted that dark, dark shadow area? And we can just see a little bit more of the old BSA. My composition, I got too close to the handlebars. Let me try it one more. I'm going to come back a little more. But it's certainly helped lift the exposure on the BSA. These are things you can think of. What could you use to add a little bit of light somewhere? How could you do it? Maybe you could use a lead lamp. Maybe you don't have a lead lamp. That's completely fine. That's completely cool. But you might have a torch. You might have a mobile phone. I think I'm going to concentrate on this old BSA and see if I can show you what we can do with some available light. Let me get the Legend out the way. Lovely old Triumph Legend. I love this bike. It just never goes wrong. My idea of heaven, my idea of freedom is to get on one of these bad boys and just go see if I can get lost in some back roads. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try a wide angle shot, getting in close first. How does this work? Let's have a look. Yeah, that'll do. What would this look like if I shoot it in close with a wide lens? Let's see. I'll pop that on the floor so I can see the shot that you are looking at. And we may bring back the lead light. So, forgive me when I switch to video mode, and let's see what we have. Now, wide-angle lenses do create a sense of intimacy, don't they? Look, this I think is more interesting than the shot we had earlier. By getting rid of some stuff, we've now just got, you know, a little bit of bike action, and the wide-angle lens is giving it a really nice feeling of presence and power by being close to the front of the old BSA here. I think I will put the lead lamp back because it will improve the light. Let me go back to photo mode and we'll do a couple of shots to compare. This is all it is, guys. Photography, this is all it is. I need a bit more light. My histogram, well, I don't know, I might get away with it. Let's see. Let's come around here, a little closer. Keep that wide angle shot. That is quite nice. It's very shadowy. It's kind of moody. But it's not bad. But again, look how dark and black those shadows are on my old Beezer. And I love the shape of her. So let's bring back Mr. Lead Light. Prop them on top of a spare Triumph Legend engine. There we go. You see, I work on these things myself. This really is my man cave. This is what I love. My brother used to have a man cave. His was just a little tiny shed at the end of the garden where it was barely big enough to put a lawnmower, and all he had in there was an armchair and a radio and a little mini fridge. He used to go and sit in there and listen to the cricket, which I think is great. Maybe that is part of your Toy Story. Let's see, how are we doing? Right, I'm going to increase my exposure a little bit. I don't want to change my shutter speed because we're on a fairly slow one already, so I am going to increase the ISO. I'm watching my histogram. There we go, I think that is better. So I'm now up 1250 ISO. Try if I can find that composition again. I think it was about here. Not bad. Let's compare. See how much better that is. Look how that little bit of light has come in from the side. I know there's a bit of yellow there, but again, I kind of like it because it gives that Toy Story feel for me. That is my interpretation. I'm often out here in the evenings working with a lead light on, this funny yellowy glow. What else could we do? Let's have a look. I'm going to try going to the opposite end. Let's try, instead of using a wide angle lens, let's try using a longer lens. So bear with me while I do a quick lens change. Going from the wide angle 10 to the 55 to 200, and because of the low light we might pop it on a tripod, I think, just in case. I don't really want to use tripods because I don't want to spend too much time faffing, or the video will get too long. We'll see if it works. This is the main ingredient of photography. See if it works. Try it and see. Please, please, please don't think that professional photographers, be it me or anybody else, just go out there and boom, immediately in one go, everything is perfect. Before using the tripod, here's a little tip for you. It's often best to find your shot where the camera needs to be, because composition is all about arms and legs and hands and feet, where you stand, when you click, what angle you put the camera. You're much better off to do that handheld with the flexibility that allows, and then bring your tripod in under the camera. Clickety, clickety, click, you know where the camera's got to go, rather than continuously adjusting and fiddling with the tripod. It takes forever. It's painful. So what have we got now? Let's see what we have. Now this is kind of interesting because I've just spotted something. Can you see, let's go to video mode. Can you see on the side of the tank, we got, yeah, I don't know if you can see in here. Yeah, you can. There's a window over here. That is blowing a bit of light here, and it's striking this side of the tank, which you can't see from there. So I'm going to show you here. Remember, the brightest part of the picture is usually what grabs the most attention. So let's just see if we can get that a bit brighter for you. There we go. Now look. Right, I quite like that. I'm not sure about the messy in the background, we'll worry about that in a minute, but look, can you see there's this sort of highlight on the tank there? I wonder if we can move that highlight onto the BSA badge. How would we do that? Well, if we change our angle, if we move, if I bend my knees, look, you see that highlight is coming down the side of the tank with me, and now, pretty much there, it is on the BSA badge. If we go this way, we're moving the highlight right onto it. That's better, isn't it? See how easy it is to use light. It's just tiny movements. Now the composition's a bit rubbish. Really don't like that bright and shiny at the back. What could we do? Well, I want to see a bit more bike. Let's just zoom that back out a bit. It's okay, but I quite like that old number plate and a bit of headlight. It's not bad from here. I think it'll be better if I move back. So I'm going further away, making the lens longer to make the depth of field of view a little narrower. So down here, well, that's not bad. Let's just zoom that in. I want to show you. I think you get more value from seeing through my viewfinder exactly what is going on when I'm videoing. So here we go. I quite like that. We've kind of got our highlight there on the BSA, so it's helping that BSA. In that case, I quite like it. In fact, bringing a little bit of number plate in there and just a hint of headlight is pretty good. How about if we start to zoom in very slowly like this? And we keep our focus firmly onto where it says BSA. We've got a hint of that great big, lovely old-fashioned number plate. I don't mind a little bit of headlight in the bottom. That's quite nice. I quite like it. Even the tins in the background are not too distracting, but if we didn't have that little highlight on the BSA badge, I think it would be too painful. How about if we position the number plate right in the corner like that? That's better, isn't it? That's better. Let's take that one. And then we'll have a play with a slightly different angle maybe. This is all it is, guys. It's just practicing with different angles, different ways of looking at things. Let's get this. You see, because the video format and the photo format are slightly different, I am getting a hint of headlight in there, but I don't mind it because that highlight on the BSA badge is kind of what is making it work. It's kind of helping. So I know I'm not using the tripod. It's because this video will be too long by the time I've faffed about. If there's a little bit of camera shake in there, please bear with me. We could use the tripod. I just don't want to make this video last forever. Let me take that shot again, but without the highlight on the BSA badge. Let's move it up and just change the angle. Much the same shot. It's still not bad, but does it work as well? Let's have a look. Let's see. It's still quite a nice shot, but I think I prefer it with the BSA badge. See that as we flick back and forth. Highlight on the badge, highlight off the badge. But what about those annoying tins? They are very bright in the corner, aren't they? Well, it shouldn't be too hard to disguise them, and a long lens has a shallow depth of field, so we can probably make that background fairly blurry. I'm going to just let's do it again and see what happens. I'm going to pimp the ISO a lot to try and bring my shutter speed up because I'm still on a very slow shutter speed with a very long lens. How does that look? That's better. Annoying, there's a little bit of handlebar poking out underneath it. Let's see if I can do this without... That's better. That's better. You have to learn to look, it's going to fall off in a minute. You have to learn to look all around the picture. Don't just look at the subject. Look at the entire picture. You've got to realise it's not just the subject that's important, it is everything that's going on around it. Now, I'm not the best in the world at doing, that's better, that's better. I still don't like, there's a bit of, there's always something, isn't there? Coming back further, let's get our highlight on the BSA badge. That's better. Oof. Let's get our aperture as wide as we can. I think we're good. Image stabilizing on. I'm only on a 30th of a second with almost 100 millimeters of focal length, so there may be a little bit of camera shake just. Am I able to keep that still? Well, that's not bad, is it? But you see how playing around with light, by moving yourself around, you can pick up these little highlights, these little pools of light from different places and highlight different things within your image. You don't have to have lighting equipment. It was fun playing with the lead lamp down there. There are many possibilities, you know. I could stay in here all afternoon and probably find some much better shots, but I've got to make some more challenge videos for you. So please remember, the competition always closes at midnight UK time on a Thursday. To enter your picture, you have to use the hashtag that has been on screen throughout this video. I'm your judge this week. We may bring in a guest, I don't know, but I am your judge. It'd be interesting to see what you come up with. See what you can find, see what you can do. As again, it's not about the subject, it's about how creative you are, how inventive you are. I want to see how hard have you tried. It's not just about, you know, coming up with something amazing that involved a lot of kit and gadgets. It's about how creative you're being with some very, very bare ingredients. Think of a chef, you know, they always say keep it simple, and I would agree. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you next week when we do the announcement of the winners and runners up, and we'll go through and do some discussion of some also rans which nearly made it. And these are people I really salute because I can see how much effort and work you put into things. And then I want to try and encourage you to do that. Be well, be safe, and I will see you next week. Take care, guys.